Guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about the 2022 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and I would say it was pretty eventful. We had lots going on, and the championship once again took a massive swing with both Ferraris DNFing from the Grand Prix. So let's waste no time, let's get into the race reaction. So we'll start off at the front then with Red Bull, who took a 1-2 yet again this season and mainly helped out, obviously, like I said, with Ferraris both DNFing, but nevertheless, Perez obviously qualified ahead of Verstappen, but Verstappen won the race from Perez, and yeah, they did look a lot quicker than the Ferrari, sorry, in the Grand Prix. And well, if Ferrari are struggling with race pace and are unreliable, then this is probably going to be an easy championship for Red Bull, and at the moment they're on an absolute roll. So yeah, very, very good from Red Bull. Not really much else to say on them really, because after Leclerc DNF'd, it was more or less a game of just get it to the end really. Perez was told to let sort of Max through as well, no fighting, as he overtook him into turn one. But yeah, not really much else to say on Red Bull. Once again, taking maximum points and running away with the championship once again. Next up is Mercedes then, and once again benefiting from the DNFs of the Ferrari guys, but George Russell once again Mr. Consistent in the top 5 once again, and getting another podium this season as well. Yeah, really good job. Had a pretty good pace throughout the race, but again just can't really fight the guys ahead, because the guys ahead are just too quick for them, unfortunately. But no, great result for George. And Lewis as well. He had a little bit more work to do than Russell. Qualified 2 positions behind Russell, and then had some really good scraps with the AlphaTauris, the Aston Martins. There was a point where Vettel actually overtook him in the pit lane, but managed to overcome that after Vettel had a problem overtaking, which we'll get onto that later on. But no, a good result for Mercedes. But you could see Lewis literally after the race getting out of the car, he looked in a lot of pain. Obviously the porpoising was ridiculous this weekend. The amount of times those cars were bouncing, especially Mercedes, and obviously Mercedes have probably been suffering it throughout the season the most so far, but this weekend was just insane. And as he was getting out of the car, you could just see he was in massive pain with his back, and I've never ever seen that from an F1 perspective before. So yeah, not good on that side of things. So hopefully he's okay for the next race, but nevertheless, a really good amount of points for Mercedes. Another team that had a bit of an up and down weekend were AlphaTauri. Pierre Gasly in P5. What a result for him. Like I mentioned, had a really good battle with Lewis and Vettel, and was sort of in amongst the things, but didn't really have the race pace to stay ahead of the guys. But like I said, Vettel got unlucky with the overtake that he made, but he was trying to put up a good fight with Lewis, but unfortunately Lewis just again had too much pace for him. So yeah, a really good result for Gasly though. Gasly has been a bit on the back foot this season, and AlphaTauri in general haven't been looking that good this weekend. Oh, the whole year, sorry. But this weekend they really stepped it up, and it was great to see. Yuki Tsunoda, on the other hand, also had a really good race. Once again in the midfield, making loads of overtakes and stuff. But unfortunately, coming towards the end of the race, his DRS, half of his DRS sort of failed, sort of split in two. So he had to come into the pits, and they had to tape it up, which I don't know if that's allowed in the rules, because I heard Paul di Resta say that's probably not what the FIA are going to like. But I'm not sure why the FIA didn't come over the radio and say retire him, or if it was going to be an issue, I don't know. I don't know if Paul di Resta just made an assumption there, but nevertheless, so when he came into the pits, they taped up the rear wing, and he wasn't able to use DRS for the whole entire rest of the race, and he finished home in P13. So I think AlphaTauri should have just retired the car really, and just saved whatever they had left really. But nevertheless, P13 for Yuki Tsunoda, and I think AlphaTauri will be disappointed with that, because like I said, they looked like they were going to get double points. Another driver who had a really good weekend was Sebastian Vettel and Aston Martin. He managed to get through to Q3 once again, like he did in Monaco, and came home in P6. So a great result from Sebastian Vettel. It was great to see him fighting with a lot of the guys again up at the front. It was really, really good to see. So yeah, really happy for Sebastian. P6, and a really good hold of points for Aston Martin. Just what they needed, I think. And Lance Stroll, I don't know what to say about this guy, honestly. Crashed twice in qualifying, and then just nowhere in the race. He actually DNF'd, I can't remember what for now. I think it was just a reliability issue. But yeah, nothing else to say on Stroll. Next up is Alpine, and I think they'll be a little bit disappointed this weekend. I think they had a lot of high hopes coming into Baku, and I think they, they still managed to get a double points finish with Alonso in 7th and Esteban Ocon in 10th, but knowing that the Aston Martin and AlphaTauri beat them, I think they will be a little bit disappointed with that. But Alonso, once again, he was having a good few scraps in the midfield, which was great to see. And Esteban Ocon, once again, sort of always seems to be holding up people, it seems. So, yeah, not good from that sort of thing. But nevertheless, he's still got a point, and it's more points for Alpine in this championship. McLaren are the next team in the list, and Ricciardo and Norris came home in 8th and 9th, and a double points finish for McLaren. And yeah, it was getting a little bit tense towards the end of the race with the McLaren boys, with team orders. And throughout the whole race, really, there was one point where Norris was ahead of Ricciardo, and then Ricciardo was ahead of Norris at the end. And then at the end of the race, they told Norris to sort of stay behind Ricciardo, but I don't know if it was just because it looked like he was trying to overtake, but I don't think he was, because I think he just obviously had so much pace down that massively long straight with the DRS, and obviously with the system as well. But yeah, no, getting a little bit controversial down there at McLaren, and obviously I don't think Lando really needs to act like that, because he signed on for a few more years yet, and Ricciardo's the one under pressure. So, but again, I suppose F1 drivers want as many points as they can, and they don't like losing to their teammate. But nevertheless, it's a double points finish for McLaren, and much better performance from Ricciardo as well this weekend. Obviously, everyone was talking about if he was going to be dropped halfway through the season, or will he leave at the end of the season, because McLaren aren't going to want his performances to continue. But no, he did a fantastic job today and was with Norris more or less the whole weekend, so it's great to see. So next up is Alfa Romeo then, and Valtteri Bottas finishing at 11th, and Guan Yu Zhou DNF'd once again. The guy looked really solid this weekend, had a lot more pace than Bottas, it seemed. Bottas was nowhere this weekend compared to what we've been seeing him throughout the season so far. But yeah, a really solid drive from Guan Yu Zhou, but unfortunately had to retire halfway through, had some sort of reliability problem. Not sure exactly what the problem was, but yeah, really disappointing for Zhou. I think he was on for a good amount of points as well, but wasn't meant to be. And like I said, Bottas just didn't really have any pace throughout the whole weekend. It was very odd. And obviously, he's gone quite well here in the past. Nearly won in 2018 after he had that puncture, and obviously won in 2019 as well. So yeah, a bit of a disappointment for Bottas, but unfortunately no points for Alfa Romeo. So next up we'll do Williams then, and Alexander Albon finished in 12th, and Latifi doing Latifi things and finished last in 15th place. Latifi actually got a penalty for ignoring blue flags, and then he also got a 10-second penalty before the race had even started, because the team pushed him back onto his grid spot before the formation lap, which you're not allowed to do, because all the cars should be untouched once everyone's away from the car. So unfortunately his race was sort of ruined before it even started, really. And Alexander Albon, yeah, didn't really see anything of the Williams, really, but still, nevertheless, a good result for Williams. So next up is Haas then, and Mick Schumacher finished in 14th, and Magnussen DNF'd, and it was a real shame for Magnussen, because he had some really good pace throughout the race and was really making a lot of overtakes. I don't know if he would have got points, because he still was just hovering outside the top 10, but nevertheless, he did look like he was having some really good pace in that car, which was great to see. And Mick Schumacher, didn't see anything of Mick Schumacher throughout the whole weekend, really. Out in Q1, and yeah, just don't know what to say. Obviously, at least he kept it out of the barrier, because obviously we know that he's been costing Haas a lot recently, but nevertheless, not great from Mick Schumacher still, but at least he brought it home to the end and saved Haas money. And finally then, Ferrari. Like I said when I did the Red Bull part, if their car is bad in the race on pace, then, and the car is unreliable, it's going to be an easy championship for Red Bull. There's Sainz DNFing because of a hydraulics failure, and Leclerc's engine blowing up. It wasn't even that long into the race either. I think we were about 10 laps in with Sainz, and then Leclerc's engine failed about halfway through. But yeah, just a massive sting to Ferrari in the championship, especially after coming off Monaco. And Leclerc, again, just not being able to get a break in 2022. Ever since Melbourne, he's just really struggled to get this win. And I don't know when it's going to come, but Ferrari have got to sort their issues out, because it's not looking good at all. And if it continues, then they're going to be miles out of the championship, and Mercedes are probably going to catch them at this rate, because with George and Hamilton finishing 3rd and 4th every time the Ferrari's DNF, then that's an issue for them. But yeah, not good at all for Ferrari. So there we go, guys. That is it for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix race reaction. I hope you did enjoy it. As always, let me know your comments and thoughts of everything that happened in the comment section of this video. I can't wait as well, because I think, is it a week's time? Let me just quickly check. Obviously, we're going to Canada, which I cannot wait for, because I love Canada and we haven't been there in a few years. So very excited for that one. But I do think the races haven't been very good with the modern cars, but I'm hopefully with these cars they'll be able to follow better, and hopefully we see some good racing and a good race, because the last few years haven't been the best. But nevertheless, I'm really excited for Canada. Just quickly checking now, it is on the 17th. Oh, it's another 2 weeks yet. But nevertheless, guys, I'll see you in the next reaction for that one. Like I said, if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. And I will see you all again in the next one, guys. It is in a week's time. Honestly, the year's going too quickly. Holly just said. What did you think it was? I don't know. I thought it was... I don't know.